It's your girl Shantell, and we're back for this episode of the Victory Room. We're talking about Alex Pereira in the UFC. He has a huge fight coming up against Israel Adesanya in April. Definitely make sure to check it out because that's where I will be as well. But let's get a little bit into Alex Pereira. I think we talk too much about Alex Pereira in relation to his rivalry with Israel. And give me a moment here to kind of walk you through like why I think that is. So just close your eyes and imagine, I'm describing any other UFC fighter, right? So imagine there was a fighter who was so dominant in kickboxing that he was the number one champion, the belt holder in both the middleweight and light heavyweight divisions in 2021. Let that sink in. Now, he leaves kickboxing to try a new challenge because he's already been so dominant there. And imagine this. He comes over into MMA and he's currently 5-0. All right, now open your eyes. And who did you imagine? Now, if you're not directly following like Alex's story, you may not imagine Alex Pereira, but based on what I was able to tell you, I'm sure you would be imagining a bad man. Like, this is someone who is really, at the height of his career, someone who is amazing in his own right, someone who is dominant both in kickboxing and in MMA, someone who is able to go up and down in weight and still be wiping the floor with guys, and to come into a new sort of situation with MMA and be knocking out most of the people that he's in the ring with. So Alex is not getting enough hype and enough attention by himself. And if I was advising Alex, I would say, look, you need to finish up this match with Israel. You need to dust your hands of it, go win, get it done, and don't entertain anything else dealing with Israel, because this is what's happening. Alex has now been synonymous with Israel, when in fact, Alex can stand on his own. He is a pay-per-view fight, a championship fight on his own without Israel. And so much of the storyline has been the fact that he's followed Israel into the UFC. He's the boogeyman for Israel. He's the nut that he just can't crack. He's the hill that he just can't climb. And so all of that, guess what it's doing? It's centering Israel and his journey and his plight. And so all of the narratives are about Israel. And can he finally put this man to bed? But if you were to flip it, there's so much more that we can talk about with Alex Pereira, that for him going up to a heavier division, going up to 205 is probably a really interesting step. I think he probably would have taken it earlier if it wasn't for Glover Teixeira, who was still in that division. But I think because of Glover's last fight with Jamal, and that being, such a well controlled and dominant fight on the part of Jamal, I think that Glover is likely out of contention for a while, may even be retiring. And so Alex Pereira was, partners and, learned a lot from Glover Teixeira. So I could see him not being in any rush to go up, especially if Glover is still trying to make a title run. And so now that he's out of the picture, I think the runway is wide open for Alex to sort of burst through this division. So I think all of that makes sense for him to potentially go up. I think it also distances him from the shadow of Israel Adesanya. So I think if he stays in his current division, what people are always going to talk about is, what's going to happen next with Alex and Izzy. Is Izzy going to come back? Is there going to be a rematch? Is someone else that Izzy beat that Izzy has already beaten gonna beat Pereira? And if that's the case, then now does this Israel come back? But Israel has just been such a dominant champion. When he fought Cannonier, he already had five rubies for his title defenses. So he's such a dominant champion, and so well known in the sport, and so well loved and well liked by fans and spectators. So to me, there's that division is stamped through and through with Israel's name on it. And I think if Alex really wants to make a name for himself outside of being the guy that beat Israel Adesanya, he needs to kind of carve out his own lane. And I think carving out his own lane really looks like potentially being in a different division. Because just looking at Alex Pereira's resume, if you never mention Israel Adesanya on that resume, everyone is going to be thinking, wow, that dude is elite. That dude is, next level. That dude needs to get, more fight time, and we want to see him in the octagon against everyone, right? And he can have that without the Israel conversation. And so I really think that Alex's own narrative is being overshadowed because of his connection to Israel Adesanya. And of course, that's the reason why he was able to get fast tracked to a title shot, because he had that background and that history with Israel. And that's cool. We can't be mad at someone for how they got to where they got to, but it's like, get in where you fit in, then expand. And so now he's already gotten in, and he needs to figure out a way to kind of expand beyond the reason that kind of got him into the UFC on the fast track in the first place. So I'm like, Alex, do whatever you need to do in this fight against Israel. Dust your hands of it and keep going.